Picture an entire amusement park, roller coasters and all, sitting untouched in a forest for over a decade, and nobody blew it up, nobody tore it down. The trees just grew through it, wrapping around the steel supports like they'd always belonged there. That's basically the theme of this whole video. Humans build something, spend a fortune on it, walk away for one reason or another, and nature quietly says, "Actually, no, this is mine now." No debate, no negotiation. Let's get into it. Number 10. The Buzludzha Monument. Built in Bulgaria in the 1980s as a massive communist propaganda hall shaped like a flying saucer, Buzludzha was abandoned almost the moment the political system that built it collapsed in 1989. Nobody made a plan for what to do with it. It just sat there, locked on top of a mountain. Snow, wind, and decades of neglect have since stripped the interior down to crumbling mosaics and exposed rebar, and every winter takes a little more of the roof with it. Locals call it the house on the hill, and despite armed guards trying to keep people out, it's become one of the most photographed ruins in Eastern Europe, drawing urban explorers willing to risk arrest just to see the ceiling mosaics before they're gone for good. What's wild is that it wasn't destroyed by war or disaster. It was destroyed by pure abandonment, which somehow feels even stranger. Number 9. The Mounsell Sea Forts. Scattered across the Thames estuary in England, these rusting metal platforms were built during World War II to shoot down German bombers before they reached London. Once the war ended, the military just left them standing in the water, towers on stilts with nowhere to go and no one left to command them. Barnacles, rust, and one very short-lived pirate radio station later, they now look like something out of a war-torn sci-fi film, half-collapsed silhouettes on the horizon. A few have partially collapsed into the sea already, and engineers say it's only a matter of time before the rest follow, which hasn't stopped kayakers from paddling out just to get a closer look. Number 8. Kohlmanskop. In the Namib Desert, there's a former German diamond mining town that was thriving in the early 1900s, complete with a hospital, a ballroom, a bowling alley, and even the first X-ray station in the whole of southern Africa. When the diamonds ran out in the 1950s, the entire population left within a few years, and nobody bothered clearing anything out first. Now the desert sand is flooded into every building, piling up inside bedrooms and hallways and smooth, sculpted dunes, like the sand was always meant to live there, and the houses were just borrowing the space. Photographers travel from around the world just to capture rooms that are half house, half beach, with sunlight pouring in through broken windows onto drifts that reach halfway up the walls. Number 7. The Chernobyl Exclusion Zone. You've probably heard of Chernobyl because of the 1986 nuclear disaster, but what gets less attention is what happened to the land afterward. With humans gone almost overnight, wolves, lynx, and wild horses moved back in within just a few years, filling a landscape that had been farmland and villages a generation earlier. Some studies suggest wildlife populations in the zone are now higher than in nearby inhabited areas, radiation and all. It's not that the radiation is harmless, it's that humans, with our roads, farms, and hunting, turned out to be the bigger disruption to begin with. Scientists still study the zone today as an accidental, if grim, experiment in what happens when an ecosystem is simply left alone. Number 6. Hashima Island. Just off the coast of Japan, this tiny island was once among the most densely populated places on Earth, packed with coal miners and their families and towering concrete apartment blocks stacked practically on top of each other. When the coal industry collapsed in 1974, the entire island was evacuated in a matter of weeks, and residents left behind furniture, dishes, even children's toys, assuming they might one day come back. Concrete buildings now stand hollowed out and vine-covered, staircases crumbling into open air, and the whole place looks less like a ghost town and more like a movie set nobody bothered to strike. It's now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which means people finally protect it instead of tearing it down. Number 5. The Six Flags New Orleans. After Hurricane Katrina flooded this amusement park in 2005, it was never reopened, and it sat exactly as the storm left it for nearly 2 decades. Roller coasters now rust above a swamp that's slowly swallowing the pavement, paint peeling off in long strips, and alligators have been spotted sunning themselves near the old bumper cars and food stands. Urban explorers sneak in regularly, even though the park is technically closed for longer than some of them have been alive. And every few years there's a new proposal to redevelop the land that never quite goes anywhere. Number 4. The Sunken Yacht Club of Berlin. Along a stretch of the Havel River, an old boating clubhouse from the 1930s was slowly reclaimed by a forest that grew up through its floorboards and out its broken windows over the better part of a century. Photos of the site look almost staged, like a treehouse that got a little too ambitious, with entire trunks growing straight through what used to be a dance floor. But it's entirely the result of 80-plus years of trees doing what trees do when nobody's paying the property taxes. Number 3. Pripyat's Ferris Wheel. Technically part of the Chernobyl zone, Pripyat deserves its own mention because of one specific detail. Its brand new amusement park was scheduled to open just days after the 1986 disaster, and it never opened at all. The Ferris wheel has sat frozen, rusted, and empty for decades, its yellow cars swaying slightly in the wind but never turning, becoming one of the most recognizable symbols of instant mid-motion abandonment anywhere on the planet. Number 2. The Michigan Central Station. Detroit's massive train station was once one of the tallest rail terminals in the world when it opened in 1913, a genuine monument to the city's industrial ambition. But decades of decline left it gutted, graffitied, and pigeon-infested for over 30 years, its shattered windows becoming a kind of unofficial symbol for the city's broader struggles. Unlike most entries on this list, this one has a twist ending. The building was recently restored by Ford and reopened in 2024, proving that reclamation doesn't always have to be permanent if someone's willing to spend the money to reverse it. Number 1. Angkor Wat. Long before any of these modern ruins existed, the temples of Angkor in Cambodia were being swallowed by jungle for centuries after the Khmer Empire declined in the 1400s. Massive silk cotton tree roots grew directly over stone walls, fusing with the architecture so completely that removing them now would collapse the very structures they're holding together. Conservationists today have to make an impossible choice at sites like Top Prom: cut the roots and risk the walls falling, or leave them and accept that the trees are now load-bearing. It's the oldest and most extreme example on this list of nature not just reclaiming a space, but becoming structurally inseparable from it. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If any of these blew your mind, let me know which one hit hardest in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more.